Thank you.
Yes. When you're a kid, you're a kid.
Tick. Tock. Tick. Tock. Tick. Tock. Tick. Tock. These are seconds of your life. You're going away very quickly. They're seconds you can never get back. Every day you wish you could reach out and grab more time, but you can't. The clock just keeps ticking. Tick. Tock. Tick. Tock. Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters and guests. The story I'm about to tell you tonight is about a gentleman named Roger. Roger was an ordinary man. He had a family. He had children. He had his dear friend, his dog. Roger went in for his regular physical, he does every year. And he's sitting in the examination room, waiting for the doctor to come back in, tell him, "You're looking good. Keep doing what you're doing." And as he's sitting there, in dead silence, all he can hear is the clock on the wall. Tick, tock, tick, tock, tick, tock. And he's wondering, why is it taking so long? There's so many things I gotta do. I gotta be at this place at a certain time. I gotta be at that place at a certain time. I gotta remember to pick something up on the way home. In his mind, he's just racing through different things that he has to do. Can I come in? The doctor comes in. He's got a very serious look on his face. He says, "Roger, I'm sorry I'm the person that has to break this news to you, but you only have 6 months left to live." That clock's ticking. And all of a sudden, all the time Roger was feeling has suddenly ceased. He's hit a ton of bricks falling from the sky. He's trying to process what he's just said. He thought, "I'm young, I'm in good shape, I have a family." And he leaves his doctor's office, feeling rather numb. He makes a long drive home that afternoon. As he's going in the car, the radio's off, the windows are up, the air's off. He's just in his own world. All he can hear is his wristwatch. Tick, tock, tick, tock. And he starts to think. 6 months. There's roughly 4 weeks in a month. It's approximately 24 weeks, 7 days in a week, 24 hours in a day, 60 minutes to an hour, 60 seconds to a minute. He starts thinking about different time and how fast, how precious it is. He starts to think, well, I've got a lot of money set aside. What can I do in the next 6 months of my life? Go out and buy that boat that I always wanted. I always wanted to go sailing. Buy the boat and go sailing. Take my wife and kids on a vacation to see all the places in the world that I've not had a chance to see, that I've read about in books, that I just long and imagine for. He keeps driving. The wristwatch keeps going. Tick, tock, tick, tock. Almost like a metronome, counting off seconds of his life. Roger starts to think, perhaps buying something may not be the best approach. What would other people do with 6 months left? Would I spend more time with my wife and kids? Take my dog on long walks? Really enjoy the time I have with them and my friends and my neighbors? Tick, tock, tick, tock. These thoughts are all becoming very overwhelming for him. He can feel the pressure building up in his chest, the anxiety building. He's on his way home. He has to break the news to his family. He's not sure what to do. He begins to think some more, and he starts regretting certain things. He regrets that, perhaps he took life for granted, and he took different aspects of life for granted, because it happened so fast. He got caught up in life, in the day-to-day monotonous activities, running to the store, running to appointments, getting paperwork filed, that he missed everything. He starts to let his senses run wild. He rolls down the window, and for the first time in a long time, he can smell the air outside. He starts to notice the trees lining the side of the road. He starts to think, maybe I will take my dog on a walk tonight, just to embrace life. He starts thinking, perhaps I could have given back more to my community. I could help out local children. I could mentor them. My kids are grown now. Give something back. Because when we're gone, We all want to leave some type of legacy behind us. We want to say, yes, I stood for something. Yes, I made a difference. I was here. Leave that mark on the wall. Roger continues to drive, absorbing all these senses. Tick, tock, the clock is still ticking. He pulls in his driveway, completely overwhelmed. He isn't sure what he's going to do, but he knows that when he wakes up in the morning, this is the first day of the rest of his life, quite literally. He starts to think of different ways that he can actually make a difference, ways that he can contribute, ways that he knows he can make these next 6 months, these last 6 months, mean something not only to him, but his family, his community, and quite possibly the world at large. While he's sitting there trying to gather his thoughts before he goes in to face his family, his cell phone rings. The sound comes piercing through like a needle going through a balloon. And he's pulled back to reality and composes himself. He answers it, hello. On the other end is a doctor, hysterical. He just continues to apologize. His doctor says, I'm so sorry. I have to tell you some more news. And Roger is thinking, well, how could this thing possibly get worse? He says, Roger, I made a terrible mistake. We mixed up your file. You don't have 6 months left. You have a full life ahead of you. You are in completely perfect health. All of a sudden, the weight of the road lifts off Roger. And he's stuck in a bit of a daze. Why do I tell you this tonight? Well, quite frankly, I don't know if Roger exists, because by Roger, I mean all of us. We don't know how long our lives are. We don't know when our last day is. But we shouldn't take life for granted. We shouldn't forget to literally and figuratively stop and smell the roses. Take a deep breath. Take a walk on the beach. Listen to the ocean crash onto the shore. Feel the sand between your toes. It's only a few hundred feet away. But yet, how few times do we go there and enjoy it? And just enjoy life. Enjoy the company, the people that we're with. Because it's quite true that tomorrow is the first day of the rest of your life. Because life's a journey. There's no real end until the end. We should enjoy it. Do things that you want to be remembered for. Do things you enjoy doing. Don't put them off till later. Do them now. For your guests tonight, something that might be something that you could try is joining Toastmasters. And I don't say this to sell it to you, but if it's something you're considering doing, do it. If you have an aspiration or a dream, do it. Don't put it off. Because life is short, life is precious. Don't take it for granted, and don't take the little aspects of it for granted. Just live your life, love it, and enjoy every day.